Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the URC. This one, the last of the year for the Bulls. They want to finish on a high, and last week was definitely not the epitome of what we have seen from this Bulls side in the past. Now, on the URC table, they're not sitting too bad. They are in third place on 24 points. They get themselves a win here. They will currently boost into second, but then whether or not they stay there is soon to be determined, whereas they are going up against the side in the Sharks, who are sitting 4 wins from their 6, points differential pretty close to even, and if they win this game, they can go right up into the top 4 at the end of 2024. Looking through at the starting lineups, it is a stacked Sharks side, although a couple key players missing, including Bongi Mbonambi, as well as Eben Etzebeth, Oxnashare in the front row, alongside Dylan Richardson and Vincent Cox. So the Springbok propping duo with the inexperience of Richardson, although a bit of experience at this level, just not for the green and gold. Jason Jenkins at number 4 with Emil van Heeren slotting in. At 5, Pepsi Buthelezi, Emmanuel Tichuka and Sia Khaleesi is there as the number 8. Very curious to see how once again he goes in that 8 jersey. It is something they have used quite a few times in the past, the Sharks. And of course, there are rumours that maybe that man could be going to a different South African side. So, of course, you want to put on a big show here. Jaden and Jordan, the Hendrickse brothers, as the 19 combination with Andre Esterhuizen and Ethan Hooker in the midfield. That is a lot of power between two individuals. And then you look at the speed of the back three. Marcus Olima Pimpi out on the left wing, Yapinke out on the other, and Apelele Fasi at number 15. Looking through at the Bulls side. Now, last week was far from perfect. There were so many things that the Bulls did wrong. Honestly, one of the worst Bulls performances we have seen in quite some time. But they have said that their concentration is the URC, so hopefully we do get to see it here. Gerhard Stennekamp as the 1, Aka van der Merwe at 2, and Wilco Low slotting in as the tight air prop. Ruan Vermaak alongside JF Van Heeren as the 5. Cameron Honeycomb, he is playing 6 for this game. Now, Eldrick Lowe is at 8, and then they have got Cobus Visa, number 7. So a little bit of an interesting dynamic there. We are used to seeing Cameron Honeycomb in that 8 jersey. Eldrick Lowe, he's slotted into 7 occasionally, but he can play 6. But instead, he is getting that number 8 chance. And Broz Papia alongside Johan Goosen as the 19 combo with Harold Foster in the midfield alongside Stedman Hans. And then Kanan Moody, Sebastian de Klerk, and then at number 15, Willie LaRue. A lot of experience there. He was so frustrated last week. Him and Moody, the fact that 2 Springboks couldn't even work out who were going to score the try and then in the end knocked it on, it just summarised their game last week. They do want to forget it. 30 points to 21. The scoreboard doesn't look that bad, but the rugby certainly did. And the week before that, a 27-5 loss over the Saracens. For the Sharks, they got themselves a big win over the Exeter Chiefs in the opening round of the Champions Cup, and then that next game up against Leicester, once again, bit of domination. Different side, though, for the Sharks. They didn't go full strength. This side is about as close as they can be to it, with, like I said, the exception of Mbonambi and Etzebeth. Hopefully we are in for a great game. In the chat, we have got there, Sia Khaleesi is not playing today. Oh, late exclusion, I guess, in that case. So maybe a bit of a reshuffle. You will wait to see the lineups. Currently, the coverage has not kicked in for us here in New Zealand. We've got there, hi all and Hamish, says Robert V. And also we have got there, let's see what happens. I'll stick with the team from the ocean, the Sharks, says Rhea. Note the Bulls is going to win, says Natty. And if you look through at the performances that we saw from these two sides last week, you would say that if they can improve by, 50%, it sounds like quite a bit, but just minor improvements, we could be in for a great game here. Sharks, they are going to be playing next week up against the Stormers. That is to keep their URC rolling on. That will be a 6 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa on Saturday night. And we will be covering that one on the channel. And then for the Bulls, like I said, this is their last run in 2024. They have to make a statement. And the URC, the perfect place to do so, with them sitting currently in third. Looking through at the benches for these two sides. So I would assume that if Sia Khaleesi is out, like you mentioned, there will be a bit of a reshuffle in that starting lineup as well as the reserves. But for the Bulls, it's a pretty strong bench. You've got Johan Rovela, Then Jan Hendrik Wessels, 2 men who were given opportunities for the Springboks this year. Marcel Coetzee, a lot of experience there. And then in the backs, you've got Devin Williams, Johannes, and also Peterson. Whereas for the Sharks, they've got Sia Masuku, that certainty off the kicking tee for later on. Cameron Wright, and also Julius there with Trevor Nahanye as a front row replacement. This game is less than 5 minutes away. What was the final score for Stormers versus Lions? For anyone who doesn't want a spoiler, I am about to say the number. I will put my hand up as well so you can't see, but make sure to mute. 3, 2, 1. 29 points to 10 in favour of the Stormers. So they did get themselves that bonus point. So, yeah, a decent performance overall. I feel like there were certain things that both sides could have improved on there, and that red card didn't help in terms of the Lions. So I didn't call thank you. Says Robert V. Yes, the Bulls, and come on the Bulls, says critique in there. So, of course, do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think will win, and also by what margin? Now, this game, in terms of the betting odds, is pretty much a pick-em, which means this could go either way. And I think the split they've given is 1.5, which is very, very slim. And that just means that, honestly, either of these sides could walk away with a victory, which is always very exciting when you have a game that can completely switch. What was that red card for? It was for in the breakdown. A legal clean-out on Marnie Lebok was a pretty dumb one to give away. Like, there was no mitigating factors. Yes, Lebok's head was quite low down, but you still can't fly in and whack a bloke in the head. Normally does get you in a bit of trouble. Sharks 23-17. Sharks by 1, says Robert. Okay, so going close. Score by 6 and score by 1 are the two first predictions for the home side. And also, we should say, oh, there we go, Sharks by 20. That is a lot higher than some of the other that we have seen. But, yeah, do let me know who you think will score the first try of this matchup. I'm going to give you 4 predictions of people who I think will be guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but I think they've got a good chance of scoring. And those men, I'm going with Akafunda Merva. I think we're going to see a rolling ball try for the Bulls. I think Cameron Honeycomb, just because of that pure power that he brings. And then I think for the Sharks, if I had to pick 2 players who I think will score, I'm going to go with Andre Esterhuizen for that crash ball, and then Marcus Olima-Pimpi out on the wing with the pace. So hopefully all 4 of those guys score, and then I seem like a genius. But if they don't, then that will be quite sad. Bulls 34, Sharks 22. Says Natty, and can't predict the score. Home team by 1 or 2. Says Albert. And yeah, like, that's the thing. We saw both of these sides lose badly last week. So there is a little bit of uncertainty about how they're going to be able to bounce back. URC News, Zebre to go into liquidation and cease to exist, says Jimbo. So that is not great news for them. Of course, a couple of the other, well, Benetton have been doing phenomenally from the Italian side of things. First score, Sia, although someone said that Sia Khaleesi is not playing in this game anymore, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not he is in the lineup. Go the Sharks, says Gurra, and also 29 points to 13 for the Sharks, says Spy Cookies in there as well. We will go like this, and we will go like that as well, but we are only 1 minute 20 away from the start of this game, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, like I said, be sure to get in your predictions of who you think will win this game. And also, just in general, what you think. Are these two sides going to be able to drastically improve from what we saw last week? Or are there going to still be those mistakes out there on the park that then lead? Yep, there we go. They've just said no Sia Khaleesi. And number 8, it will be Hatton for this game. Hi, Hamish and the Sharks. Oh, sorry, hi, Hamish and everyone. I'm going with the Sharks by 10. Sharks 25 to the Bulls 20. Yeah, Bulls make us proud. The Cheetahs can replace them, says Albert. Yeah, it will be interesting to see what they do with that last team, because I don't know whether or not the Northern Hemisphere sides would be keen on an extra South African team in the competition, just because the dynamic at the moment based on, well, if they're based out of the Northern Hemisphere, maybe, just like we saw for the Challenge Cup. So it could be an option. 50-20 in the Sharks' favour, says Furlan there. And the Sharks by 12, says Jimbo there. So we're seeing a lot of Sharks in terms of the prediction side of things, although the occasional Bulls supporter does still think that their side can get the job done. And to be honest, like looking through at this Bulls team, if they fire, they can be a tough side to stop. But it's just whether or not they can find that rhythm. And to their credit, up against Northampton in a game that they really did struggle with. They still managed to score, I think it was 30 points or somewhere around there. We've got it here. 21 points. The opposition got themselves 30. So they still scored multiple tries in a game that they looked, in the nicest way possible, awful in. And they were very close to scoring multiple more tries in that game. They honestly should have had 50 throughout that game. Not tries, but points. But Elric Lowe, the captain of the Vodacom Bulls, he is playing in the number 8 jersey for those match-only Bulls with 13. Says Albertus, and there as well. And how many games did the All Blacks lose? They did lose 4 throughout the year. So not their best year overall, but also not the worst. Like, when you consider the losses that they had, they probably didn't do too badly overall. A 0-0 draw, says by man. I really hope not. I feel like a 0-0 draw at a 5 a.m. kickoff for us here in New Zealand would not be great. But honestly, sometimes the lower scoring games are the ones that are more entertaining in terms of the defence. If you love a good bit of defence, a 0-0 draw would be sensational for you. Northern Hemisphere loving South Africa being in the URC, but the decision will be easier when South Africa get full committee status next season. Says Jimbo. We're going to see the game though, says Arno. Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube, which is why you won't be able to find the game anywhere on YouTube. But there are a few free options. TVNZ Plus here in New Zealand do have the games for free. And all the Bulls fans have left town and sitting on the bench, while Sharks fans sitting at home to avoid the tourists. At the beach rather than the bench. But now, Jordan Hendricks, he will be kicking off. Tell you what, the Lions could have used him in the last game. Up against the Stormers, Villy LaRue. Ready to go. It looks very foggy at the moment, but I believe that's because of the fireworks that they did let off before the game started. Big news going around that Sierra's in talks to move to back to the Stormers. Maybe why he's not playing today. I'd assume that there would be an injury or something. Surely they didn't just decide not to play him because he was considering playing for another team. That just seems a bit weird. But then saying that, maybe that's exactly why. It's hard to say. Now, Bulls in possession. Currently inside of their 22. And Bros Papier looking to kick this one high. Yapinka lining it up, but Kane and Moody normally very good under the high ball, and it's done just that. Taking it nicely. Durbin, says Natty. Now, Johan Goosen runs straight into his teammate. Derbs, says Albert. And Sharks will win this game, says Sabongile. Yeah, the Sharks actually, compared to last year, they've got a lot of support in this URC competition. Coming off that Challenge Cup victory last year. Champions Cup, they still haven't been awful at the start of it, getting a good win over the Exeter Chiefs. Yessia wants to be in his adopted home and near his kids. Says Winmar. Now going off to the left-hand side. Let's take from Vincent come up the Sharks. Let's go, boys. And Khaleesi wants to go and play for the Stormers now, says Graham. I get the reasonings behind it, but man, that must be frustrating for a coach. When you've gone through all the effort to pay big money to get a guy back, and then he straight away goes, no, I would like to go elsewhere. It's a little bit similar, like Stephen Kitsoff at Ulster. That never really worked just because something wasn't right with it. So they went and really emptied the bank account to get him in. And then after half a season, he said, nah, I'm leaving. But now, Manuel Tachuka goes off to Jordan Hendrickse. Up and Lelefasi tries to kick it. Looked like there were a couple Sharks players in front. Oh, that's awkward. I think Villy LaRue lack of communication with him and Aka van der Merwe. Aka left it for him and Villy said, no, thank you, I didn't want it. Now, Andre Estes and playing halfback Jaden Hendrickse. Nowhere to be seen, although now he is. That's a big shot coming in. There's physicality. Big time in this game. Sebastian de Klerk chopped down by Dylan Richardson. Now Goosen goes across to Villy LaRue. Skip past to Cameron Hanekom. Always a hard man to stop, and he gets the offload away now to Stedman Hans. Looking for a risky pass. There was no one there. That's a forward pass from the Sharks. And we go back for a scrum. What is Fussy yelling about? It was forward by a metre, mate. What is he annoyed about here, Upper Lelefasi, other than a clear forward pass from himself? I think when he sees the replay, he'll realise he was being a bit of a goose. And I'm surely not committed to this one, but absolutely love your comments, says Dorian there. But yeah, we're going to see the replay from Upper Lelefasi, only forward by about a metre, yeah. But he felt it was backwards, so of course he must be right. 3 minutes in, scrum feed now. Favour of the Bulls. And come on, boys, go the Bulls. And go Sharks, bite the Bulls. Says Allen. Yeah, the battle of the animals. One on land, one in water. Then you've got the Stormers. The one that aren't named after an animal, but to get themselves a good win over the Lions. Just before pack weights, 950 kgs for the Bulls. They have bulked up over the Christmas period. Like, the Sharks still have a big forward pack over the 900 kgs for them as well. Just saw the Lions red card, WTF. Says Jimbo. Now the Bulls going in, big push from the much bigger pack here. No advantage though, just a good clean scrum that made them 5 metres or so. Eldrick Lowe playing halfback, goes off to the left-hand side. Anti-spiral, says Mike. Oh, Lowe has had a shocker there. It's hit someone's knee, they've said. Turnover was almost good for the Sharks. But not able to get it back for Hannah. Comes into the starting lineup for Sia Khaleesi, who is absent from this game, going short side again here. The big man. Visa, little kick in behind from Johan Goosen, just playing a bit of territory. They were already in a good attacking position though, but he's decided he wants the line out. And the Sharks decide to take this one quickly. They will sink the slipper into that, and Apalele Fasi gets it downfield. The Bulls now have themselves the line out. We could have been the Cobras. Oh, that was our cricket team, says Wemma. Just showing there for Makazole Mapimpi. 49 appearances for the Sharks. Going to be bringing up the big 50 more than likely next week up against the Stormers, unless for some reason they take him out of the starting side. He has just got pure pace down that wing. And this one, it is actually him versus Sebastian de Klerk. We don't get to see him versus Moody as of yet, although I'm sure we'll see them go head-to-head at some stage throughout this match. Now, Aka van der Merwe, good crash forward. Wilco Lowe already caught the ball more this week than he did last. Unfortunately, had an absolute shocker with the fingers from the last game. Mroz Papier going across to Ruan Vermaak. It's good phase play at the moment from the Bulls, wanting a penalty, but they won't receive it. Hello from Ireland. Says Padraig, welcome in, mate. Now, Willie LaRue tries to cross-kick, charge down. And this is going to be a great chance for Ethan Hooker to kick the ball forward. Bulls waiting for the pickup. That one was almost knocked on. Yes, it was. And that is a poor decision from Willie LaRue that cost his side 70 metres. Not what you want this early on in the match. And also not what you want is Cameron Honeycomb staying down with some sort of knee injury here in back play. And drown the Sharks, boys, go the Bulls. Says Natty. I would imagine it would be much easier to drown a bull than a shark. There's going to be a lot of pressure coming in here. Nice charge down. And just knocked on. Trying to pick that ball up. Harold Foster not quite able to get it cleanly. Stormers was almost called the Cape Quaggers. Or Cape Penguins. But luckily sanity prevailed. Says Albert. A first try for Ethan Hooker. Yeah, Honeycomb just getting a bit of attention on that knee. 24 appearances for him. They'll want a lot more than that by the end of his Bulls tenure. Hello again, Hamish, Kiwi Lads fan, says Ruth. Welcome in again, Ruth. Hope you are keeping well. Looks like he will continue. He's a tough man, Honeycomb. Like they've said, the last thing that you want, hang on, there's going to be a penalty here. I think that's for accidental offside from the Bulls. I think this will become a nice, easy chance at 3 for the Sharks. Knock on and then offside is the call. Aka to score the first try, says Albert. Is that off a rolling maul, Albert, or just in general? Of course, the Bulls, they do love to get that rolling maul pumping towards the try line, but so far well defended, I would say, for both of these teams. We haven't really seen those massive gaps opening up like they did last week. Not too noisy here, but really humid. Says, good story, bro. First kick of the match for Jordan Hendrickson. Come on, the Bulls. Sharky's going to be ripping it, says Ruth. Now getting ready to line this one up and has struck it well, and it is over. 7 minutes into this contest, 3-0 now in favour of the home side. I think we'll see quite a few attempts at threes for a start, just to keep that scoreboard ticking over. and a step in the right direction. I hope closer. It's evenly matched. And go the Bulls. Show the Sharks what we're made of. Says Natty. No, Johan Goosen. I've just said there, Corne Ral is also on the field. I'm not actually sure who that replacement is for. I believe for Emil van Heeren, as Jason Jenkins is playing 5. In this case, could cause the ball to slip. Says Good Story Bro, Navy SEALs would have been a lit name. Says Win. And Khaleesi has got an opinion of himself. He thinks he is irreplaceable, says Graham. It's going to be kicked in behind here by the Bulls. Picked up nicely by Jordan Hendrickse. Great low tackle on him. Now gets it away to Upper Lelefasi, who will sink the slipper into it once more. And gets the ball. Does it go into touch? Yes, it does. Honeycomb considered taking it quickly. And instead they will have the line out on the halfway line. What is Fussy complaining to the referee about now? That's now twice in a row that he has been talking to the ref. He's been spending too much time around Villy LaRue, who was also out there on the field, and I don't think he said a word to the ref yet. Now line out throw. Aka van der Merwe. From a line out skip pass and Aka slip it into the corner. Oh, that's not straight. From Aka van der Merwe. Now chance here at line out time, maybe for the Sharks, or I believe they might take on the scrum, but they do have a 50 kg disadvantage. So you're in that scenario, you don't want to take too much of a risk. They should be able to get their own putter. The Sharks, come on, man. Says Nico, also there. I missed you, mate. Says Charles, welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. You guys are excited for Christmas, only a few days away. We will be back next week for the Sharks versus Stormers game on the channel, and that will be our last live stream of 2024. It's been a busy year, but we got plenty more coming in 2025. Jaden Hendrickse to feed this scrum. First one in the Sharks' favour. Got the Bulls go, says Nanny. That's gone down in the front row as expected. So humid in Durban, windy in Cape Town. Life is good, Ruth. And Bulls are quite harmless as long as you can see them. A shark will eat you and you won't even know, says Mr. Marmite. I guess that's true. But you don't see many sharks eating people on land. You know? You also don't see... Do bulls, can they float? I'd assume that they could. That'd be a good question. How many animals can actually swim? A few, I would think. We're asking the good questions. Currently 5:12 a.m. in New Zealand, ladies and gents. The brain is wandering. But now another scrum reset. Here we go. Jaden Hendrickse puts the ball in. Happy New Year, says Charles. Yeah, I can't believe how quick this year's gone. We're already a year and a bit away from the last World Cup. Oh, Honeycomb having a bit of a fumble. Villy LaRue looking at him like he could do better. And Andre Estes on the first knock on there. I missed you are so funny, says Natty. But can Bulls float, says Mr. Marmite. And Bulls need to charge. I almost missed the match, says Aniki. Yeah, currently 10 or so minutes into this contest. In fact, a little bit later, the Bulls were African buffalo. They could do anything, says Albert. Yeah, just the knock on. In fact, it was Ethan Hooker in that case. Seen our fair share of handling errors. It's 2025, guys. 2024 is over. I think you're a little bit ahead. Like, I know that New Zealand's time zone is ahead of South Africa, but whatever time zone you're on, it's certainly a bit further ahead. Sharks love buttercups, says Mr. Number One. I'm having hot cocoa with extra cream, says Roof, and I all hope all kicking. Go the Sharks, says Jean. Is it Jean or Jean? I believe it's Jean, isn't it? But I could be wrong. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. That's going to be the advantage here at scrum time once again for the Bulls. They are very strong when it comes to that big push. Elric Lowe picks it up nicely. And haven't been here in a while. Here looks good, Hamish. I don't know if you're joking or not. I assume you're being genuine, but there is, like, this part's all sticking up. I did get, like, a couple hours sleep before the last live stream, so the hair decided to have a bit of a wander. That's going to be another penalty, though, this time at scrum time for the Bulls. They're going back for it. So far, 12 minutes in, no tries scored. No, sharks eat meat, not veg, says Mr. Marmite. Joan. Is it? Joan. So neither of the two. Oh, that one's mistouch from the Bulls. That is a mistake from Johan Hussen. And cheers, cool story. Hamish has superb hair and beard, says Ruth. I'm from another continent called the future. It is further away from New Zealand. It's like 10 days distance, so 2025 for me, says Charles. So you know what the weather's going to do in the near future, Charles. Can you let me know what it's going to do on the 25th? We're trying to work out whether we're doing an outdoor barbecue or we've got to cook indoors. So just if you can let me know, that would be appreciated. Aka van der Merwe. Ready to throw it in. Nicely claimed by the Bulls. And Bros Papia gets an awkward bouncing ball, but it sits up for Johan Hussen. I missed their blue, sky blue jerseys of 2005. Oh, no clear release. Another penalty. You're correct. First time with Jean. Says Robert. No people have been murdered by a bull. That's not true. I think there's been a few deaths via bull. I think bull riders, there's been a couple who have died from getting by a bull, you know. Plus the running of the bulls, I think that goes pretty wrong pretty quick. Nikki, says Ruth. Johan Hussen, they're just showing here in the breakdown. There was no clear release from Jordan Hendricks as he swatted that ball back. Yes, correct, Jean, says Robert. Out in 2025, Hamish, you will get a rugby jersey from your friend George and your parents will give you some Nike shoes. Well, I now know that you're lying because George, I don't think, would ever give me a rugby jersey. Give me like a piece of chicken or something, but that's only if he's in a good mood. But I don't see him getting me a jersey. 2025 Christmas, I mean. Our Bulls are so very dangerous, says Natty. Now chance for Johan Hussen to add 3 points on the score sheet for the Bulls. And it's away to the left-hand side. African or Cape Buffalo. The second most dangerous mammal in Africa after hippos. You ruined the joke, mate, says Charles. What do you mean a joke? Aren't you from the future? You should have known that I was going to ruin the joke before I did, Charles. And the bull didn't murder them. They died from breaking their neck trying to ride a bull. No, but like you can get like punctured by a bull. I feel like at what stage do you decide that it's like a bull that's done it or that they did it themselves? It's a deep one. But yeah, like you can get like, because bulls have horns. You know, shark have teeth, bulls have horns, and they both do damage. So Charles, since you are already in the future, how does 2025 start? Since it's a WTF. Is that like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Or actually WTF? That's going to be another knock on. So we're seeing quite a few injuries, or not injuries, quite a few handling errors early in this match. Some poor passing. Yeah, just hits the hand of Harold Foster. Pamplona to date at the running of the Bulls, says Jimbo. And there is a new pandemic called 25 and it's spread from Thailand. It's a shame, isn't it? Thailand would be an interesting place to go. I feel like one day I'd like to go to Thailand. We were in a shop the other day and we were talking to some people, as you do when you're in a shop. And one of the people who were behind the counter, I thought I recognised them. So what I did was, of course, I go on Facebook. Why do I sound like I'm 60? But, yeah, they're actually like a New Zealand Muay Thai champion. So, like, I wouldn't rob that store because she would absolutely beat their head in. So there you go. That's my story of the day that had no relevance to what we were talking about. But now line-out chance. Again for the Bulls. Yeah, Pink Gadget's driven into touch. Failure of the Sharks. Or the running of the Sharks was a complete failure, says Jimbo. That doesn't count, Jimbo. The Bulls didn't murder those people. Stupidity did, says Mr. Marmite. But you could also argue that, like, swimming in the water when there's a shark is also considered stupidity. So you could say that stupidity got them too. You know? By that logic. Now, Cameron Honeycomb off the back of the rolling ball, chopped down by Dylan Richardson, who's having a bit of a nap by the looks of it. He stayed down with a bit of a snooze, so he might have to go off the field. Hamish, you rubbing shoulders with VIPs, says Albert. Nobody knew where the shark was, Hamish, says Mr. Marmite. No, they would have, because they would have heard dun dun dun, and then you know it's nearby. And Thailand is great, but don't bother with Pattaya and those places. Tourist traps, you pay foreigner prices, says Sakabula. Our Bulls is going to eat sharks alive. Our Bulls is on the ground, not under the sea, looking for Nemo, says Natty. Yeah, this looks like Dylan Richardson is going to go from the field now. He was a late inclusion, or not really a late inclusion. Bongi Manambi wasn't going to be there. Do you know the Bob Beat song from ICU Cricket World Cup 2025? One of my favourites, mate. I do not know it, no. Who's Bob's Beats? I feel like he could also sell vegetables, couldn't he? Different kind of beat. Right, Calvert onto the field. That is for Bester. Hang on, Bester. Did Bester start? Or did Dylan Richardson move? I think it was Dylan Richardson originally, but now, no, maybe, I don't know. They've changed a lot in the Sharks team. Was there like sickness going around? Had to be something, because like 3 players have changed. I was scared of this Bulls by this farm in England. Scared of sharks in the sea. When bodyboarding here. Yeah, we're going to see it there. He just unfortunately just connected hard with his head on Cameron Honeycomb. I'll slow most people down. I don't like cricket. I love it. DDD. Ryan's with it's time for us and the beat. And cheering here for something says, cool story, bro. Now Jaden Hendrickson goes off to the left-hand side to Jordan. Pinke goes up the middle of the field. He's got plenty of pace. Can he find the offload? No, not quite. Now Esterhazen looking to the short side. He will be wrestled down as well. I think they're going to target Makazole Mapimpi here. They can get it out to him. Oh, Mapimpi wanted to go himself with a pick and go. Couldn't quite pick it up cleanly now. Jaden Hendrickson, another short ball. Finds Mapimpi. Back across Emmanuel Tishuka. Close. 2 meters from the line. Hendricks is over. That being Jaden. And he scores the try. And Ethan is preparing to score very soon. Scum on the Bulls. Make up for last weekend's oops, says Sakabola. Let's fill a huge pool with Sharks and encourage people to jump in, says Mr. Marmite. Our Bulls doesn't look scary, but he's 1,200 kgs. Would squash you, says Jimbo. Jaden Hendricks scoring in the 18th minute with that pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Saw his opportunity to go for it. I do also think if Mapimpi had stayed out on his wing, though, he might have had an opportunity to just run it in the corner. But this one working out a lot better in terms of the position on the field. Eldrick Lowe, the captain of the Bulls, trying to make that tackle, but it was just too late. That was fake, like that try was, or like something else. I'll be honest, when we first started this live stream, I didn't expect the biggest talking point to be the discussion of the animals of Sharks and Bulls rather than the teams. But you just never know what to expect. How was that Stormers game? Great score, says Juan Pierre Bosch. Yeah, step in the right direction for the Stormers. Still got the game next week. And then after that, I mean, the Bulls aren't going to be playing until next year. That sounds like it's a long time until you realise got a game on about the 6th. We have got there, what is wrong with these Bulls? Wonder if they don't need new ideas in the coaching box. Says Sakabola. Yeah, they just make a lot of mistakes. Can you ask a dumb question? Go on then. Might as well. Nice Sharks, sorry Bulls, says Jean there. Now going to be rolling this one back. Jordan Hendrickson, we're currently 20 minutes into this contest. The Sharks have got themselves a nice 10-0 lead. Nicely taken under the high ball for Makazole Mapimpi. They move into the Bulls half again. Oxley Share plays half. Goes across to Pepsi Buthelezi. Jean, I feel sorry for your Sharkies, says Nettie. And also we have the against 14, says Sakabola. Gone backwards is the call. Ball is available. Oxley Share once again. Here's the charts. Now getting ready to once again send this one to the sky. It was almost charged down by Eldrick Lowe. Good chase coming in here from the Sharks, but he can't quite get to it. And Villy LaRue will kick this one into touch. Had someone ever tell you that the chestnut horse is the same colour as poop? I'm not racist, though, says Charles. It's an interesting take. Oh, it's a forward pass from Apalele Fasi again. And my pimpy not happy with it. Did they say YC are not playing? If they have, I haven't actually heard it. But yeah, he is out, as well as I think Emil van Heerden wasn't playing. So I assume there's like a bug or something going around that Sharks side. If the person who was blue is not well, then perhaps the same applies to the Bulls, says Robert. Ooh, maybe. Well, that's the thing. Like, they had such a poor 80 minutes last week up against Northampton. And yes, they got 21 points, but they should have had a whole heap more. So I feel like the confidence has to be low. Definitely when they've said their main priority is the URC. So that's a lot of extra pressure. When you go from losing a game badly to all of a sudden having to perform at the top level, if a Shark had legs, we would all be dead, says Mr. Marmite. Be a weird sight, wouldn't it? Shark just walking around. How long is its legs, though? Like, big? Or only the little ones? Like, if it was like the length of a crocodile's legs, you might be able to outrun it. But if it's got them long things like a horse, long day. And come on, Sharks, I listened from Clarence. Says Michael, that's going to be another penalty going the way of the Bulls. That is against Vincent Koch for collapsing the scrum. 50 kg advantage really paying dividends at the moment. Sharks with legs is a salty, says Albert. Sharks are not aggressive to humans, says Robert. That's a good kick from Villy LaRue. It's about the third, or maybe second, advantage / penalty that they've got from the scrums. Definitely going to be one of their target areas throughout this game, or the best in South Africa. Or the best things in South Africa start with a B. Bok, Bulls, Brandy, Biltong, Braai, says Sakabola. Burgers as well, they're quite good. Oh, that was close to a knock-on from Aka van der Merwe, and it is actually in touch, I believe. Okay, side entry number 4, penalty goes the way of the Bulls again. I'll make my Xmas Bulls and BS. And Netso says Natty. Blondes says Sakabulas, and brunettes, to be fair. The only one that doesn't start would be red hair, ginger. What's the correct term for someone with like red hair or orange hair? I don't actually know what the official terminology is. Now rolling maul chance again. Aka van der Merwe. Yeah, no, that's pretty bad from Corne Ral. He just tried to pull him sideways. That's a massive throw over the top. A nicely claimed, and Broos Papia goes back across. Low tackle on Sebastian de Klerk. Off to Cameron Hanukom. About 15 metres out from the line. Somehow manages to find it offload, and Broos Papia appears as the line. Gets it to low, and he will score. In fact, no, sorry, it is Visa. It's human, says Jimbo. Oh, yeah, there, if the ball could swim, it would still be useless, says Mr. Marmite. Alburn, says Neil. 25 minutes into this game, the Bulls now firing back. The try of their own. That run from Cameron Honeycomb, but not so much the run, but also that offload. Kept the ball alive, and great step from Papia, went straight round Hannah. And quite here now, says Brawl. Mr. Sharks is useless no matter what, says Natty, but that one has gone over. 25 minutes in, 10 points to 7. We've got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's been going quite quick as well. To the game's credit, we haven't had any TMOs involved. I think within the first 10 minutes or so, we had a TMO in Stormers versus Lions. But yeah, so far been a very free-flowing game. It's been great to see. Kick downfield from Jordan Hendrickse. Nicely taken by Elric Lowe. Now Ambrose Papier looks like he will be rolling this one back to once again kick it up high. Nicely done. Puts it into touch. I heard someone who was not happy with that kick. Someone used the F word, as it's known as. Fun fact, the Irish, we have a special here word for red here, rua. I'm going to change my name to Bilbit. Smart move. A win prediction at the moment, 58% in favour of the Sharks, 39% for the Bulls, and then 3% for the draw. So, draw pretty low, likeliness in this case. You feel like there is going to be a winner. It's going to be thrown in over the top, though, and the Bulls now claiming it. Johan Goosen, how hard Jordan Hendricks are trying to get that turnover in the breakdown, can't do it. Papier boots the ball in behind, finds a little bit of open space, awkward bouncing ball there. Kane Moody puts pressure on. He's saying he was blocked. The ref says we'll keep going for now. Come on the Bulls, says Loader there. Sharks doesn't know what the Bulls know, and that's a fact. Strawberry blonde, another word for redhead, says Ruth. It's going to be kicked high up in chasing. And Goosen, he's dropped their ball backwards. Cameron Hanekom, wrestled down by Vincent Koch. Name Adam means son of the Red Earth. I just Googled, double-checked it. Now, Rose Papier thought about going for the kick, but Jason Jenkins ended up in the wrong place. Billy LaRue looking for the 50-22. Oh, Makazoli Mapimpi. He's just had one go over his head, and Billy LaRue gets the line-out throw for his side. Mapimpi, I think he thought that was going out on the full, so he left it alone, and all that happened there, the ball did go out, but off the bounce. And Goosen Bulls, let's charge towards that try line, says Ruth. And once again, in a very good position. This game's flying by, 28 minutes in already. I don't know whether it's because we've talked about a few different topics as well, or whether it's just because we've had very limited stoppages. As a Kiwi, you must be sick of all the talk from the South Africans. Not really. I feel like I've got a very high tolerance for, like, random chatter. But, like, I find it all right. Oh, nice work from Sebastian de Klerk. And within a couple metres, and they're over again, Harold Foster does score the try. Has anyone seen the new Sky Sports Rugby Sevens ads? Says, Dame, I've seen you're in them. I think they've had that one for a while, unless there is a new one that you are talking about since that one. But, yeah, I was going to tell you about it, but we haven't seen you for a little while. And how did they come back, says Charles. Do you get royalties or anything for that Dame set match, or do they just use it because you're there, I guess? So they probably say they've got permission. Hamish hates South Africans. I'm not sure where you got that from. And yeah, the Bulls says Sakabula. And come on, boys, says Natty there. But the Bulls now taking the lead here. And the kick does go over. So far we've seen 3 tries throughout this first half. Both sides searching for the bonus point. What is going on? Game on. And they come back when I left, says Charles. And yeah, the Bulls, says Ruth. Nice work from Sebastian Klerk. Very flat pass to Harold Foster. What's your favourite South African food, Amish? Bog roll, says Bro. I did see some borwas in the shop like a year ago. And I sadly didn't get them because I thought, oh, they'll have them again. And then they've never had them again. So I missed my opportunity there. I've tried emailing to get a copy, as I've also only heard from friends in New Zealand. Says Dame set match. Yeah, see, I feel like hopefully they can hook you up in some regard and give you, like, footage of it, seeing as you are in it. A better game than the Lions Stormers game? Yeah, so far it's been a very entertaining first 30 minutes. Jordan Hendrickse now trying to break the line, gets around Visa, who was the initial try scorer for the Bulls. Hendrickse looking both ways, gets it off to Emmanuel Tachuka, now knocked on here by the Sharks, claimed by the Bulls, who will now look for the counter-attack. No, they will get the scrum instead. And also, you can imagine you're sitting and watching the All Blacks versus France friendly fixture. France scored 53 points and the All Blacks 37. You did say you're from the future. Is that something that happens, Charles, or just something you want to see happen? And Bulls need to let the Sharks play to get penalties, says Nicholas. And brutal Bulls now, they're really pushing it, says Ruth. Yeah, they're going all right so far. The Bulls, in terms of that first 10 minutes or so, didn't look great. But since then, they've now started finding a bit more of their rhythm. They got the best counter. Says Nicholas there too, and maybe Sharks is delicious. Says Mr. Marmite. 9 minutes remaining. The first half, another scrum in which the Bulls have already had multiple penalties going their way from. I want to do the same here. Where can I watch live free? If you're in New Zealand, it's on TVNZ Plus. If you have a VPN, it's on TVNZ Plus here in New Zealand. I think they're the free options for New Zealand anyway. South Africa, I don't think have a free option, sadly, for the coverage of this game. Northern Hemisphere, I think there might be a couple options too, but either way, I think a VPN is needed. This is the most important game of all year, says Robert. It's a pretty big one. It's going to be competitive, I believe, from this first 30 minutes. Shark fin soup popular in certain place. And we have got to imagine you're sitting there on the fixture watching All Blacks versus France. You see All Blacks scoring 37, France 54, and then in the last minute you go for a toilet break for 5 minutes and All Blacks come back to 55. Says Charles. Boy, that was a long statement. But, I mean, it would be interesting. I don't think you'd have to go for a toilet break in the last 5. I think you just hold it, wouldn't you? Worst comes to worst, you pee down your leg. But at least you see the last 5. Going back for another penalty, this time at scrum time. Swimming is important, says Mr. Marmite. You have to marinate shark meat before you can eat it, says Sakabula. See it there, it just went down at scrum time. Johan Hussein, he will once again look towards the touchline with it. No free watching, says Nicholas. And does get it into touch. Willie LaRue, I think there was, Johan Hussein. I think there was about as many metres as he could have got for it as well. The Sharks weren't really back to try and stop it from going out. Marinated in milk, making money from South Africa, says Nicholas there. And Shark Biltong is the thing in Hermanus. Yeah, just showing the head coach of the Sharks, John Plumtree. Two coaches under a lot of pressure here, Plumtree and White. Both would love to end the year on a high. For the Sharks, they still have next week's game up against the Stormers as well. Now starting to get this rolling maul going forward. Jan Goosen, he will be lurking on that left-hand side, but for now, Akafanda Merva will keep this one rolling that little bit closer to the try line. They've been told to use it once. They will soon have to do it again, I would think, although it is still moving here. 5 metres out from the line, it's been dragged to ground. Cameron Honeycomb looking like he's ready for it. Sebastian Clerk acting like he was going to get the ball, but they all knew exactly where that ball was going. Looking for the turnover here, the Sharks, they've been told to get their hands out of it, and he is hanging on to it big time. He's not careful. He could end up with a yellow card here before the end of the first half. Ruan Vermaak, 10 metres out from the line for the Bulls here. Shifting it from right to left now. Little kick in behind from Ambrose Vapier. And Fussy is back to cover. Billy giving him a wedgie in his process. We have got there how many South Africans you bump into in New Zealand. The bookshop owner right here is New Zealand. He's cool to talk to. There's a few South Africans around. Like, we've done a couple building jobs for South Africans. Like, in our area of, like, being small town, probably not as many as some places, but yeah, quite a few South Africans in New Zealand. South Africans aren't allowed in New Zealand. That's just not true, is it? It's going to be a scrum feed for the Bulls. They have opted to go for the scrum 5 metres from the line, so they could almost drive this one over, if we're being honest. The amount of metres that they've made from scrums already, which is a really weird sentence to say, because normally sides do not find too many metres from scrums. Looks like Oxnashare just talking to the replacement 16, trying to tell him exactly what to expect here. Now, here come the Bulls. Thank you for your action. Gives all a taste of the action. Thank you for your channel. It gives all a taste of the action. Thank you very much, Nicholas. And yeah, we are going to be back next week as well. Like I mentioned, for Stormers versus Sharks. That one should be, hopefully, a very good game, similar to this one. Bros Papi about to put the ball in, though. 35 minutes in. This is one of the quickest halves I think we've seen in a long time. It is just absolutely breezed by. Ready to put it in, and has done just that. Another advantage in favour of the Bulls. And Brosbapia Villi LaRue tries the cross kick. Kane and Moody waiting for the ball, and he's driven into touch by Fussy. They will go back for another penalty in favour of the Bulls. And I don't think we'll be too many away from a yellow card. Unfortunately, the scrum has really struggled in this contest so far. I think it would be a good move to go to the scrum again. Going for another scrum. It does look that way. New Zealand doesn't like immigrants. I don't think that's true either, Mr. Marmite. What is a small town in New Zealand? Approximately how many people live there? For my town, I think we've got 5,000. But that includes like the rural area kind of out in the country as well. My sister and her family all immigrated to New Zealand from South Africa and after 5 years immigrated to Australia. There's Albert. And LaRue having a bit of a wobbler today. Hang in there, LaRue. There's Roof and try for who? Says good story, bro. At the moment, we've seen 2 tries from Visa and Foster for the Bulls, and then the one try for the Sharks was scored by Jaden Hendrickse. They won't let me live in New Zealand. I think that's more of a maybe problem with yourself, Mr. Marmite. They probably saw what you say on social media and went, nah, we don't want him. 3 minutes left, and this try opportunity pretty much in the middle of the field for the Bulls. Another scrum 5 metres out. If they can make the most of it. LaRue hands on hips, but he is off to the left-hand side of the breakdown. Does feed the ball in. Being told to use it. Elric Lowe, shut down well by Jaden Hendrickse and forces the knock on as well. Perfectly timed from the Sharks number 9. And Foster, I would not have picked to score, but hey, it's all good, says Albert. Yeah, a lot of pressure coming in the back of the scrum from Hendricks. Just dives over and forces the handling error. His sense of humour is undeniably refreshing, says Ruth. And they can't find me, says Mr. Marmite. So how did you expect to get in the country if they couldn't find you? Surely like they'd need your documents or something, wouldn't they? You don't have the right qualifications. Doctors and dentists in high demand in New Zealand and Canada, says Sakabula. This game is on Freeview Ear TV here in Ireland. So it seems like there's a few places that have it for free. It's just not in South Africa, which I think is really weird that the 2 sides that are in action don't get to watch this game for free. Now going back across to Andre Esterhuizen, only 10 metres out from the line. That's one of his first real runs throughout this contest. This is awesome that everyone can interact. Again, thank you, my man, says Nicholas. Yeah, I do try my best to read all of the comments. Every once in a while, 1 or 2 slip through, but we do get most of them. I agree, their own worst enemies, not New Zealand's fault, says Robert. There we go. That one's going to be knocked backwards. Away, everyone is sick and had bad teeth in New Zealand, says Mr. Marmite. Yeah, I feel like they would have done one interview with you and gone, yeah, nah, we're not letting him in. Ever. Fussy now going to be kicking it high towards the halfway line. Makazole Mapimbi tries to take it, but it's been knocked backwards, and then the knock-on came with the next play. The first one was back from the Sharks, and then the second one was a knock-on. South Africa's national broadcaster, a joke, Hamish, says Sakabula. I could only live by the sunny coastline. Everything good is expensive in South Africa. And also we have got there, where are they playing at, what stadium? So it is at Durban's home ground. I think it's now called the Hollywood Bets Sharks Stadium or something, isn't it? Called something to do with the sponsor. Now it's going to be a blue scrum again. A little bit more attention on that honeycomb leg. Look at this, South Africa. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Looks like a great place. There's Roof for New Zealand. Looks like Vincent Koch getting a little bit of attention as well here. With an injury, looks like a very close game. Close games are more interesting than one-sided affairs. I agree. I feel like this one could still easily go either way. South African TV a disaster unless you have Uber. Any sports expensive DSTV sport, you can hardly see any sport. We have got the Pedro hello. Here's Ruth. Just looking through at the crowd. A decent amount of people in attendance for this game. I'm not sure what the filter is on that camera, but it looked like an old school one. Where on the picture they make. See, here's ball, so we are just waiting for the reset, but it will be just inside of Bulls territory that they've got themselves. The scrums are probably 45 metres out from their line on the far side of the field. Oh no, in fact, maybe a little bit further back as they have opted for the line out. So about 40 metres out. But yeah, bit of a stoppage there due to Cameron Honeycomb having a calf injury. Or at least leg injury in general. Now going to be taken nicely by the Bulls, who will kick it into touch. They'll accept the 4-point lead. And now halftime in this match. 14 points to 10. Good, it's dark. Says Padraig there. I'm about 15 metres from C point. There's Ruth, but what we will do, ladies and gents, is we will once again look at some stats for the halftime break. See exactly how these two sides are shaping up for this first 40. Right, what do we got? We got the stats here. Seen 3 tries so far. Visa got himself 1. And alongside that, we did see the try of Harold Foster. And then we also saw the try for the Sharks earlier on in this game from Jaden Hendrickse. That is the only try that we've seen from the home side throughout this match. They also got the 3-pointer from Jordan Hendrickse. So all points coming for Hendrickse brothers for the Sharks. But possession, 55% in favour of the Bulls. We've seen 3 clean breaks from the Sharks compared to the 2 of their opposition, the Bulls here. Defenders beaten 7-5 in favour of the Bulls. Territory is 56% for the Bulls. Tackle success, 76 for the Bulls compared to the 64 of the Sharks. So that's a little bit low for themselves. And greetings from Kevin and Munster Kerry. And then penalties conceded 8-1. So 8 penalties against the Shark side. Quite a few of them coming within the scrums. I think they've probably had 3 scrum penalties so far against them. And that's the type of thing that will really hurt them throughout the second half. Definitely if they find themselves getting sent to the bin. As soon as you leave that player or lose that player, I mean, we saw exactly what happened throughout the last game for the Stormers and the Lions. It just all went downhill very quickly. About 30 minutes. And Moisenberg says, Ruth, yeah, very entertaining first half. I feel like it absolutely flew by. There weren't really any major stoppages. I don't think we saw the TMO involved at all throughout the contest either. So great. Free flowing half of rugby. And morning, Hamish. Merry Christmas to you and your dad and mumsy. Stay blessed, Farnhouse. Says a Blues Nate. And there as well. And same to you, mate. Hopefully you are excited for the Christmas period. Only a few days away as well. Yeah, some good carries coming from the Sharks, which eventually led to that first try of Jaden Hendrickse. How's the stadium looking? Says Tyrone. I slightly shouted that, seeing as it was all in caps. But yeah, it's looking all right. Pretty full from what we saw on the sideline camera before. New Zealand is mostly fields. It's easy to hide here. Says Mr. Marmite, and property prices difference between Cape Town and Pretoria is ridiculous. Almost triple, says Albert. Stadium is still standing, says Custodian. Sorry, says Tyrone. It's all good. But Cameron Honeycomb, he's had a bit of an impact, but not as much as I kind of expected from him throughout this first half. And maybe that is just down to having a little bit of an injury to that leg. They don't really want to lose him as of yet, though. We have there why you're not showing us the game itself, says some Kello, because it would be illegal and I would end up going to prison for copyright infringement. But yeah, as soon as you put any match footage or audio on YouTube, they take it straight down due to the copyright laws. So you don't actually get to show any footage, or at least not much, if you do try and show it. So the only way to do it legally is to just talk about the game like we're doing here. I hope the Bulls get a second, or got energy for second half, and they keep on scaring me if they lead in the first half, says Nicholas. And no TMO, must have fallen asleep, and combo of good referee, says Stefan. And there as well, and how much to go to a club match in South Africa? It's a good question. I know that someone was talking about the season pass last year for the Stormers. They were trying to convince people that if they had the season pass, they'd get the Springboks game cheaper or something like that. So it was kind of like an incentive to end up buying it. But I don't know how that went, how many season passes they would have sold. Maybe a few. Be plenty of people looking to see the rugby. And regular price is $150 or 50 per game, says Tyrone. So that's 15 or 5 New Zealand dollars, isn't it? That's pretty cheap in terms of a price. Like over here in New Zealand, to go to a club game, you're probably looking at like $50 minimum, and that's for a poor seat. Nobody watches club rugby in South Africa. It's too expensive, says Mr. Marmite. Or are we talking? So we're talking the next level down. So not Super Rugby, but like the next one down, I guess. Which I think is, it's still a little bit expensive here in New Zealand, like $30 maybe, somewhere around there. That's why they joined the URC. We have their South African games, South Africa games are 650, and Curry Cup is 80 Rand to 40, depends what stadium, says Albert. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's the same as most places, depending on where you're trying to watch a game, will depend on the price that they're going to have against you. Thanks for the commentary, Hamish. I had something crop up during the Stormers Lions game and wasn't able to thank you for that one too, says Russell. No worries at all. Hopefully everything is all right with you, Russell. This game already halfway through. It has been, like I said, flying by for this match. We are not too far away from the next half getting back underway. Hamish, too much work for Christmas or with Christmas dinner. Too much food. I'm on a diet, says Blues Nate. Yeah, you're going to have to try and time it. If you can have Christmas as your cheat day, the hardest part is to stop eating after Christmas and then go back to your normal diet. But yeah, I should be trying to eat a little bit healthier. I'll be going on a holiday very close to the new year. And I have recently eaten a lot of food. Games at club level is expensive because sponsors are withdrawing. Shaving a sheep is difficult. That's because you call it shaving a sheep. A good one for Munster last night, says Jimbo. Yeah, that was a close game, wasn't it? Going down to the wire and then in the end Munster getting the job done. Yes, it's hard to say no to foods, says Blues Nate. It is. That reminds me, I get to have breakfast after this, seeing as we are morning here in New Zealand, but I have absolutely no idea what to have. It will be about 6:50 a.m. New Zealand time when this does come to a close. What rugby club does Stafford or Birmingham in the UK have anyone? Says Brawl Story. I'm definitely going to eat shark on Christmas, says Natty. Right. Second half, I would say, it's probably around 5 minutes away. Or if it's anything like the way that this game has flowed, we'll be back out there rearing to go before we know it. Have some boruas and steak, says Albert. I sadly live in a town, though, that the supermarket doesn't open until 8 a.m. So, yeah. I could wait a little bit and then get something to eat. Toasted bacon and cheese sandwich, says Ruth. And what's a traditional Christmas lunch or dinner in New Zealand? Any traditional foods and desserts? So, food-wise, you're probably looking at, like, we still have the classic turkey and a ham, something like that. Or you can have lamb as well, like seeing as there's so much of it here in New Zealand. What else food-wise? I can't think of many other foods, but like pavlovas are the dessert side of things that I guess are a bit unique to kind of New Zealand and Australia. But for now, we need the Bulls to win. I would send you money right now, but the wife, on the Christmas spending spree, says Blues Nate, it is all good. You've sent more than enough all throughout 2024. Is lamb still $15 an hour in New Zealand? $15 an hour. Is that a reference to something else other than $15? I'll have a look. We'll have a look on the local not the local supermarket, but just that supermarket chain. That was the mouse. Hang on. I dropped it. We've got it back. It was trying to run away from myself. Right, we'll go here. Blue ball steak, best steak ever. Lamb is free. Right, we'll go lamb. What we got? Lamb here in New Zealand for a roast lamb leg with the bone in, frozen. So it's $12.90 a kg. On special was $18-ish. So somewhere around $18 a kg. Lamb steaks are $63 a kg for the premium lamb steaks, and then lamb chops are around $17 a kg at the moment here in New Zealand. Food is underrated if you need energy. Food is very underrated. I rate food, says Mr. Marmite. Okay, Lester then says Brul. And funny, but turkey not big in South Africa, says Sakabula. Because turkey in America is a big... not for Christmas, though. I don't think they do Christmas turkey, do... turkey's for Thanksgiving. Is turkey also Christmas in US? Have we got any US viewers in at the moment that can let us know? Lamb. I believe New Zealand lamb is superb, says Stefan. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty decent. Yeah, I would say we're probably less than 5 minutes away from the second half getting back underway. Shark meat is for free, tasteless. You cannot compare prices, or you can get things cheaper if we buy from the farmer. Or cannot compare prices. Yeah, it just depends on where you're getting it. Like, that's just a local supermarket kind of price that you'd expect here in New Zealand. If you've got home killed, then it, of course, is much cheaper as well. And Merry Christmas to you and your lovely family, buddy. I always appreciate you. There's so many animals to be eaten, says Mr. Marmite. I still can't believe that they got a water slide at a rugby game. But it's like the perfect thing to have on a humid evening. We have ostrich for Christmas. As our Americans have Thanksgiving and Christmas. No wonder they have weight problems over there, says Sakabula. I mean, that's like Thanksgiving. It's quite close to Christmas, isn't it? But like over here in New Zealand, like, yeah, have Easter and a lot of people eat a whole heap of chocolate. Those slides go quick. Just watching them in the wide angle and you really get some pace going. Can we eat koala? Yes, we can, says Mr. Marmite. A few players just warming up. It looks like the reserves bench of the Sharks. And cheers, Nate, you too, buddy. Says Mr. Marmite. And there as well. Right, the Bulls are back out there on the field, the away side. Not a huge cheer for them, by the sounds of it. Have you considered only eating fish and chicken for meats? Says Cool Story Bro. I mean, I don't really like fish, so no, not really. Like, I don't mind fish, but honestly, the fish for me to eat, it has to have batter on it. Like, I'm very basic in that regard, that I don't really like the taste of fish, but if something's making it not taste like fish, I'll eat it. So, that's my story. Right, the Bulls are back out there on the field. The Sharks are as well. We are just about to get underway for the second half. What's eggnog? Anyone know? I think it's like, it's egg. It's got, I think it's cumin or something in it, doesn't it? Or some sort of other seasoning, I guess you could say, or spice. But yeah, it's an interesting drink. I don't know if I'd ever get into it, but it also has alcohol in it, doesn't it? Certain versions. Chicken and fish qualify as veggies in South Africa. Please eat fish, but not sharks. Tasteless, says Natty. But Johan Huysen gets us back underway for the second half. The first half, like I said, it flew by. So the second half is anything like it. It shall fly by too. Farrell scored a hat-trick of tries for Munster last night. Never understood why him and Gavin Coombs never broke through into the Irish team, says Jimbo. It's going to be knocked on. I guess for Farrell, he's just a little bit unfortunate that they've already got a pretty set couple players in his position. Cross kick from Villy LaRue. Oh, that's a 50-22 again, I think. Upper Lily Fussy was trying to say it's gone out on the full 7 and back, but it's bounced in the field of play. Back Hamish if you're keen. Kennels looks forward to a chat with you. It would be great, says Gert. Oh, did you? Oh, that did touch the line. Did you just make the arrangement, Gert? Maybe. Turkey is a must for Xmas in South Africa, says Jeremy. Now we are ready to get this ball in. Sharks will be about 15 metres out from the line. Referee blowing the whistle. I'm not sure what's happened there. The wind is icy now. Temperature dropped by 15 degrees. Says Ruth. Oh no. Now they've said it's directly into touch. A turkey is a must for Christmas in South Africa, says Jeremy. And Mr. Shark is fish. And done, Hamish, says Gert. Jeremy, really? Oh, I've never had turkey on Xmas, says Sakabula. Right, line out throw now for the Sharks. A lot further up the field than they were going to be. Closer to the halfway line. Willie LaRue getting that kick slightly wrong, and that's a good line out throw going to the back. Now, Gutsia has made his way onto the field. That is for Visa. Did score a try earlier on. Sharks have no class. Says Mr. Marmot, you're talking about the animal or the team now? Turkey is rare in South Africa. What are you talking about? Says Albert. Probably quite hard to fit a whole ostrich in the oven, though, isn't it? So you got to go with a turkey or a chicken. At least you got a big oven. Now Hendrikse back across Vincent Koch with a quick hands. Oxnishare knocking that ball backwards. Picked up by Hendrikse. Wrestled down by Johan Robela. Bulls, I feel, do have the slightly stronger bench. There's still a lot of X factor to come off the bench for the Sharks, so that one's going to bounce to the field of play, and retreating after that was Andre Esterhazen. A kick downfield, up a Lilefasi now. He has put it out on the full, and Willie LaRue lets him know all about it. He's not happy up a Lilefasi. He's had a bit of a mixed game. He spent more time talking to the ref than he's had the ball in hand. You can Brian Ostrich. And Ostrich on the braai says Johan. And also we have there, I feel sorry for pigs now, poor piggies. And jerky is so tasteless, like eating wet cardboard, yuck. Says Ruth. I think you got to season it, you know. You got to eat something to marinade around it. I keep on having me thinking of food. I'll be having some of the best rugby, says Nicholas. Nicely taken at the front by Rowan Vermaak. Line out throw from Probela is a success. 43 minutes in at the moment. Now still looking to roll this one forward. Just that little bit more penalty advantage. Working towards the touchline. Going back across to the left-hand side. Skip pass attempted. Yalpinke cannot handle it. Willie LaRue trying to say it was a deliberate knockdown. We have the Bulls still known to play Channel 1 crash ball all the time. They have a more dynamic backline these days. A little bit of both. I think Johan Husson, I'll be honest, this is going to sound harsh, but I still don't quite know whether or not he's the best fit for 10 for this Bulls side. Just something doesn't quite work at times with him there. But I don't really know who else they could use at the moment. That one's gone into touch from Willie LaRue. This will be about 7 metres out from the line now. I've seen chicken picking at KFC Bones. Says Sakabula. And yeah, garlic cranberry and blue cheese delish and anything. Never been a fan of blue cheese. To be fair, I've never had it, but I just don't think I would eat it. Don't know if I could convince myself to. South African steaks are excellent, says Farm. A rolling maul here for the Bulls. Trying to work their way forward just that little bit more. They're not a mile off here. In fact, they're getting very close. Going to be wrestled down just a metre short of the line by the looks of it. Yes, they are. Now, where's Cameron Arnicom? No, they've scored, have they? Or they got the penalty? I think the Sharks managed to get the turnover with Andre Esterhazen doing extremely well. The Goose is long past his best, says Stefan. So I guess that's a good question for everyone who is a Bulls supporter, or even just in general. Who do you think would be a great fit for that 10 jersey for the Bulls? I know that they have got Chris Smith, but I don't know whether or not people really do back him yet. So if you could bring in anyone to be in that number 10 jersey, who would it be for the Bulls? Even if it's a guy from overseas. Very close to scoring that one for Rowan Vermaak. Just short in the end, and then the penalty went against him. Trevor Nakanye has made his way onto the field. That is for Vincent Koch. And Pollard should go back to the Bulls. That would be quite a cool fit. Oh, knock on. It's scrum time from the Bulls. Now again, it's going to be the scrum, but this time the Sharks will have the feed. Chris Smith left the Bulls. Abiota Chamberlain can play 10. Says Clement. Would you back him as the best option? Like it probably would work better than Husson. Pollard definitely, says Natty, and rolling ball 5 metres out, so unpredictable these days. Sharks rule, says Paul. Now 34 minutes remaining in this contest. First scrum of the second half. Go the Sharks, says Aniki, and there is a pizza place in Strand that put on 6 cheeses, blue cheese included, with bacon, It's a spiritual experience. That's a lot of cheese. Like a lot of cheese. In fact, you wouldn't even know what cheese you were tasting because there's too much cheese. Now, big scrum from the Bulls. And they get themselves the penalty advantage. Cameron Honeycomb goes on the outside to Ambrose Papier. Tries to get back to his feet. Isn't quite able to do so. Now, counter-up coming from Makazole Mapimbi, who's just lost all composure in the breakdown. And we'll go back for the original penalty. Yes, Biorte is a skillful player. Says Clement there. How you feel about teams buying players? Fair play? Or you prefer growing teams organically within their own provinces from school level up? I mean, if you just look at it as, like, in terms of, like, of course you want to see the local guys, the young guys getting the chance, but at the same time, the only way for these guys to really make a good amount of money is because of that international transfer that you do see every once in a while, whether it is in the URC or a premiership club signs a player, top 14, Japan. Like, for the sake of the players being able to make the most possible money, they do need that. Like, but of course it does mean that there's young guys that miss out. Namibia steaks are the best. Organic meat, says Desmond. Rather cheese than shark, says Natty. You really don't like your shark, do you, Natty? Now, Johan Husson going to be lining up this kick to take on the extra 3 and give them a 7-point lead. That one has gone over. Now making the score 17 points to 10 after 48 minutes. Nobody has ever eaten a shark yet, says Mr. Marmite. Sounds good, Jimbo. Getting hungry over here, says Sakabola. Yeah, I'm getting slightly peckish as well, to be honest. Currently 6:06 a.m. here in New Zealand. It'll be a nice evening time for you guys in South Africa. Who do you predict will win, the Sharks or the Bulls? Honestly, I think the Bulls, like, yes, they're up by 7 points, so it seems easy to pick them, but they've looked a lot better this game, I think. Like, first 15 minutes or so, they did still struggle, but after that, like, I think they're just starting to find their rhythm now. I watched the match. Sadly, it's not really available free to air in too many places. DSTV if you're in South Africa, but of course that is a paid subscription. If you've got a VPN, you can set yourself to New Zealand and watch it on TVNZ+. All you'll need is an email. Kane Moody trying to slap it back. Wasn't quite able to get it back in his team's favour. Him and Apalele Fasi under the high ball, that is quite a good battle. Hopefully we get to see it a couple more times. Bulls are only focused on the URC, says Paul. Yeah, so if they were to lose this game, unfortunately for them, it would be considered a massive blow because, you know, when you've said so openly that you don't care about another competition and that you only care about this one, they better win it or at least do well in it, or else, like, that's going to turn a lot of people against them. And most, like, people don't like the fact that they weren't really trying in the Champions Cup either, but, you know, if they can win the URC, then that makes it worth it. And they can say, look, we didn't do well in the other competition, but at least we committed to this one and we won it. But if they don't win, then, you know, that's when that doubt comes in of whether or not they've got the right guys in that coaching and kind of player department. Nice steal from Ruan Vermaak. Made it look easy to get that one against the feed. At line out time now, Marcel Kutsia moves it up to the halfway line. Broz Papier looking like he's going to send it into the sky. In fact, no, he goes back into the pocket for Husson to then do so. Sebastian de Klerk covering a lot of ground. Esterhazen not taking it cleanly. Ball knocked backwards by the Sharks. Loose. And Apalele Fasi pops it up to Makazole Mapimpi. He doesn't normally kick, but he has gone with the boot in behind. Cleaned up by Husson, who will now look for the 50-22. It's a good kick. Or is it? No, it's just gone a bit too far. And Fasi does shoo it over the dead ball line, and they'll go right back to where Husson did kick it from. And yet past the tonight, says Jean. He did a time after this, 5 meats and jalapeno pizza for me. Elephant is just a big bull, says Mr. Marmite. Not quite sure that's true. Now another line out, another scrum feed here for the Sharks. I have to say that the Bulls are keeping the Sharks in this game, though. There's been times where they've had a really good bit of momentum, and then they just make some silly errors that then pretty much give the Sharks a good chance. Just talking about the guys on the field at the moment. Trevor Nakanye making his way onto the park recently. Could be a game changer. This game should go down to the last minutes. All local clashes do, says Paul. Except for the one we saw an hour ago between the Stormers and the Lions. That one was a bit one-sided. And Hamish, we demand undo. You do the boxing tonight, says Kevin. I might be watching it. I'm not 100% sure as of yet. But George might come round and we might end up watching it. I don't actually know who else is fighting on that card, to be honest. I just know of the main event. I think we ate too much mammoth. Are we to get a dog without legs? Sounds like the start of a joke, but I'm not sure of the answer. Kicked high by Ambrose Papier. Well, taken by Andre Esterhuizen, who decides against taking the mark and now charges out and drops the ball. And Marcel Kutsia has it again here for the Bulls. Ruan Vermaak tries to spin. Billy LaRue, that one didn't come off the boot the way that he wanted it to, but somehow they might just about nut. Jason Jenkins is too tall, and now the turnover here for the Sharks. They've got the counter-attack going. Ethan Hooker with the inside ball to Jordan Hendricks. This has all come from a poor kick from Billy LaRue. Is it going to cost them a try? And no, not quite. Oh, that's not dead by Sebastian de Klerk. He'll have to hope that there was a knock-on by the Sharks, or else that is actually a cynical infringement from Sebastian de Klerk. Right, what's Billy LaRue asking for them to check? I think he's saying, please make sure that you erase the footage of that kick, because that was all my fault that my team almost conceded. Okay, Villy has been pushed away by Eldrick Lowe. They're going to be checking things anyway, so I don't really know why he was so angry. Sounds like Papier, Farsi and LaRue, the most active players on the pitch today. Says Paul. Yeah, Bros Papier has looked really good in that number 9 jersey. But they're going upstairs for the TMO. Now, if there wasn't a knock-on, Sebastian de Klerk does slap this ball dead. Now, in rugby league, that is completely fine. But in rugby union, that is illegal. So we'll have to see what ends up happening here. You have to win the URC first before you can win the Champions Cup, especially South African team, says Jan. And good evening, Hamish, here in South Africa. Thank you for covering our derby. No worries at all. We will be here next week as well for the game between the Sharks and the Stormers. Right, so, yep, that's in the hands of Sebastian de Klerk. Then he slaps it dead. So that's not allowed. But it's whether or not there was a knock-on from Ethan Hooker first. Does he get a hand on it? Because if he does, it's a knock-on. He gets the hand. So for me, that's a knock-on from Ethan Hooker. But they're going to be looking at him slapping the ball out, which you're not allowed to do, but there was a knock-on from Ethan Hooker. Okay, they're making sure there's no knock-on, which there was from Ethan Hooker. So I think that's the only thing that's going to save Sebastian de Klerk, is the fact that Ethan Hooker got the hand to it. Okay, they're saying it touches black. This one seems like a clear knock-on. Okay, they're trying to say it's forward off black, but backwards off blue. So, yeah, Sebastian de Klerk definitely isn't allowed to do what he did. But this is a knock-on from Ethan Hooker. I believe it's pretty clear. But this might be interesting because they've looked at this for much longer than I thought they would have. Does it touch the hand of black? Yes, it does. Then there is separation. Oh, they've said it's not a clear and obvious knock-on. This is probably going to be a yellow card penalty try now then, if this isn't considered a clear knock-on. Yeah, he's hit it into Sebastian de Klerk, so he's lost possession of it. So I think this is going to be going through. If you knock it on, there is no foul. Yeah, but they're saying there's no knock-on. So it's going to be a yellow card penalty try against Sebastian de Klerk. That is a big call. Not a clear and obvious knock on from Black, which means Sebastian de Klerk, he then slaps that ball deliberately dead. And that's going to make it a try. And a yellow card. The big call, but it's the one that's been given. One moment, I am about to sneeze, so we will quickly mute for a second. We are good. But yeah, that's an easy 7 because they don't even have to take that kick. And go the Bulls. And I watched them lose low, and don't be insane, says Nicholas. Yeah, it's 17 all at the moment, and now the Bulls have got themselves a man disadvantage for the next 10 minutes. Be the difference maker. This game has been a little bit slower in the second half. I think that's mainly because of the TMO interference. But Apalele Fasi goes across to Emmanuel Tuchuka, a man's name who we haven't said too much. We have got there. I will take it, says Robert. Why are these TMOs taking so long to make their calls and still get them wrong? Says Paul. It's going to be kicked downfield from Jaden Hendricks. Not on from Villy LaRue. That won't make him happy. He will start to think that the ref doesn't like him. He might be right. And once again, I speak on behalf of all your listeners. Thank you. But the listeners demand the boxing, says Kevin. I think you're the only one who's asked for it so far, Kevin. That was a brutal hat. That guy had a shark covered in blood as his hat. If I hear cheering outside over the fan and Hamish, I know something's up. See, it's good story, bro. Now 54 minutes through, 8.5 minutes remaining of that yellow, and this could be that big turning point. 34,827 in attendance for this game, so a pretty good turnout for a pre-Christmas game of rugby. The next one will be taking place next week, and that is going to be the contest between the Sharks and the Stormers. We will also be covering that one on the channel, so anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Makazoli Mapimpi now, trying to bust his way through this Bulls defense. Come on, the Sharkies. The water levels are rising. Sharks swarming in here. Says Blues Nate. He still has a red nose. Says Mr. Marmite. It's very festive, though. It's relevant at the moment, being Rudolph. Kicking this one high. Jaden Hendricks hasn't got a huge amount of distance on that one. Makazoli Mapimpi never really got a jump at it. Now loose ball. Shot coming in from Pepsi Butalese on Cameron Hanekom. Well, they're having a bit of a conversation, the two Springboks hopefuls. Not sure what would have been said there. And Hamish all good, exciting finish. Now Villy LaRue again going for the kick. He hasn't had the best day off the boot today, but Apalele Fasi takes it well. He's going to be wrestled towards a touchline, slapped out by Kane Moody. The ball stays alive. Jaden Hendrickson now. Back across to his big forwards, Jason Jenkins. And I think I'll be a Sharks fan from now on since I live here. And Sharks can never drown. Says Kevin. I don't think that's true. I think if you drag a fish backwards through water, they drown. Eventually. From what I've heard. That's a good touch finder from Jaden Hendrickson getting the ball out. Like they're saying, they've won the kicking game today. The Sharks, they've made less errors. Johan Hussen and Villy LaRue been extremely 50-50 with the boot. And come on, the Sharks showed the Bulls. You can't drown a croc, says Mr. Marmite. Johan Hussen. Sorry, Johan Hrubela this time. With the line-out throw. Does get it in over the back. Nicely taken by Elric Lowe. Now, Ruan Vermaak had a busy game in that number 4 jersey. Sharks Forever, says Wendy. Now you are a marine biologist, says Nicholas. A Papier. Again with the kick up high. That one hasn't really travelled that far. Nicely taken by Kane Moody, though. Oh, Oxnash's just crushed him, Bros Papier. It's going to be the advantage in favour of the Bulls. Villy LaRue tries to cut out pass. It's well handled by Stedman Hans, who has also had a relatively quiet game. He's going to be picked up and wrestled out by the Sharks. A little bit of feeling out there at the moment between these two sides. Sharks round if they get caught in nets. They have to move forward. Says Robert. In New Zealand, you got to watch out for sharks while fishing on your boat. They'll jump into your boat. Says Blues Nate. And no fishing line needed. If Crocs organise, we are effed. Says Mr. Marmite. Now another penalty. That time it's for offside against Oxnishare. Johan Horsen again kicking into touch. This game's definitely slowed down. Throughout the second half, there's been a more methodical approach from the teams, not wanting to make that big risk or the big mistake that costs them the game. 2 tries apiece, so 2 more tries for either side would give them a bonus point. Is there like 90% of the Springbok players on the pitch right now? Says Paul, there are quite a few Springboks out there. There could have been even more. We did see a few late changes for the sides. Right, we're seeing 1 and 3 make their way from the field, so that'll be Gerhard Stennekamp and Wilco Low, 2 Springboks going off, and Jan Hendrik Wessels to make his way on. Very versatile, playing loose head for this game. And Bulls need a pump to get the last laugh. They not do good when it is needed, says Nicholas, and now the Bulls now, says Sakabola in there as well. Getting ready to throw this one in. It is Johan Rubela. Klopper also on the field for Wilco Low. Loose line out, but well cleaned up by Johan Goosen. And they do try and use it quickly. Elric Low hasn't scored a try as of yet. We did see the one from the loose forward, though, in Visa. Now Papier. So down is Jan Hendrik Wessels. And please go the Bulls, says Nicholas. And Hippo Cheeseburger sounds good. Does it? Johan Goosen. Once again, kicking just a little bit too deep. Uncontested, and the mark is called by Upper Lelefasi, who does decide to take the quick tap. Running this one back towards the 22. LaRue at the back. Please go the Bulls. Now kicking it back here. Vili LaRue looking for open space. He's got quite a bit on it. Makazolema Pimpy having a bit of trouble lining up that ball. He does not want to kick it. He's going to try and back his space to get around Vili LaRue. Great tackle made by Johan Rubela. Jordan Hendrickson passes it out wide to Yapinka, who's got plenty of space to work with. And the Bulls will win the box. And also, we have got the aliens vape. We can eat them. I guess that's one tactic. Jordan Hendrickson. Back across now to Upper Lelefasi, who looked like he was just going to boot it downfield and does just that. Finds some space. And at the back, Johan Goosen is there. Doesn't go for the 50-22 this time. Instead goes for the up and under. Can't quite get onto it. Pepsi Butalezi keeping the ball in the field of play. And there is an advantage in favour. Oh, knock on. And penalty goes the way of the Sharks. And win box. Because it is tough, says Nicholas. Now this one is actually in the kicking range of Jordan Hendrickson. Do they want to give it to him off the kicking tee, or do they want to go for the corner, try and chase that bonus point? Oh, we have got there, we can eat your girlfriend as well, says R-Labs. Well, you'd be pretty hungry because I don't have one. Oh, we have got there, easy going, let them leave, all on the pitch. Oh, we have got there, thanks Nate. Next time I'll remember Sun Cream. Hamish giving us the best entertainment today. Yeah, they're going to go for the kick of the post. Jordan Hendrickson, he's more than capable of kicking it this far. Please don't let this game end in a draw. Hate draws, says Paul. Pizza with series. There's Jean there, but they are just showing close to the touchline. Offside from Cameron Honeycomb. Marmite's missing his partner in crimes. Where's the butter? Says Blues Nate. Now Jordan Hendrickson. Normally more than capable, like I said, of getting these kicks over. This one about 50 metres out on the angle. 2 from 2 today. And bookies know their story. Says Robert there too. Now strikes it. It's got the distance, but it goes away to the right-hand side. Be no try. Oh, sorry, no points, I should say. The Sharks will be having bully beef tonight. Okay, the Sharks need to try. Hamish, would you be open to a relationship in your 60s? Would to be open? I would assume so. I'm a wee way off that. I'm currently only 25, but 35 years time, probably, I guess. And camel horse meat just has a juicy taste too, says Footsie. It's going to be kicked downfield from Apalilifasi just outside of the 22. Oh, Vili LaRue took that far too casually, but he's very lucky that Apalilifasi knocked that ball on. It's a draw. Come on, the Sharks. We need a trial or a try or a penalty to win within these few minutes. And yeah, they've still got the man advantage for another 12 seconds. But yeah, Vili LaRue was nowhere near lining up that kick. I have to say, if this was a Springbok trial, neither him or Fussy have looked particularly great here. They've both actually struggled quite badly. And come on, the Sharks, there's Wendy. Handling errors 10 from the Sharks, 8 from the Bulls. There are only 3 girls in Hamish's village. Poor Hamish. There's Mr. Marmite. We enjoy our rump bull, I think is the sign that we've just seen there. Now, Mbrua's Papier. Put the ball in. And that is another big push at scrum time. They will get themselves another penalty advantage. Little chip and behind from Johan Goosen. Awkward bouncing ball, and they'll go back again. And most Springboks don't look good in Union colours. Says Nicholas. Yeah, the Bulls, that is one part of the game that certainly hasn't changed. It's just been any time that they want that penalty at scrum time, they seem to be able to get it. We have got their other coach, are a genius. And what's your opinion on lazy horse meat? I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, why is the horse lazy is probably the biggest question there. Johan Goosen. Put that ball into touch again. This is a big moment because they are now back to 15. And they have a lot of potential. This Bulls team. Can they make the most of it? They've got 2 tries. There's still time for both of these teams to get a bonus point for 4 or more tries. The Bulls taking a shot at the poles. Says Liliafano. I mean, we have seen one missed kick from the Sharks, so that could be the difference maker in this game. Horse won't run. Says Mr. Marmite, but now Johan Robela throwing this ball in again. Line out time. Successful so far. Ruan Vermaak. He's had quite the active game. Looking to get this rolling more moving, but it hasn't really made too many meters as of yet. So Ambrose Papier receives the ball from Robela. Good driving tackle from Pepsi Butalezi on Forster. Now Jan-Hendrik Wessel still in the process of retreating, but he's managed to get through 2 tackles with the spin. Pick and go. Again here from the Bulls. Oh, that was almost an illegal clean out. Robela goes back across to Cameron Hanekom. They've done extremely well to shut him down throughout this game. Bulls have run out of petrol. Says Kevin. Now, attack and run 4 from Marcel Coetzee. Makes an extra meter, but Jaden Hendricks gets the penalty again. Brilliant work in the breakdown from the Sharks, number 9. I hope the Bulls can do it to full time. Says Nicholas. A good game here for the Sharks. No Sharks and Bulls policy, just a great game. Yeah, overall, it's been a very entertaining 65 minutes. That yawn is not a representation of what we've seen in this game, by the way. It's just a representation of the fact that it's 6:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. But, yeah, it's been a really good, solid back-and-forth contest between these two teams. Pretty much exactly what you want. Don't want a one-sided affair. Both teams having some good moments, and there's still one big moment later on. Which team deserves to win this game? It's a tricky one. About 15 minutes ago, I would have said the Bulls, but they've really made a lot of mistakes recently, which has given the Sharks a really good chance of getting back into it. Sergio Peterson actually making his way onto the field. That is for Sebastian de Klerk, who's gone off for an HIA, the man who was yellow carded earlier on. And we have got there no mean EU teams to scare the South Africans. Says, I'm nutty. We see you only, but thank you, Hamish. Says Nicholas. Now, Jordan Hendrickse, he will kick this one towards the touchline yet again. Tight games are always fun, says Lilia B. Yeah, and this game looks like it's going to be extremely tight. Unless something happens drastically in this last little while when we see someone run away with it, but I don't see that happening. And come on the Bulls, come on. See Sakabula. And Welsh scores even 13 minutes left, says Xander. Yeah, it's anyone's game at the moment. The line-out throw here for these Sharks is a success, finding Jason Jenkins, Hendrickse, going off to Oxnich. Seems like they're going to keep him out there for a majority of this game. Steal in the breakdown from Cameron Harneycombe, but it was not successful. There was no release. So it means that there is another penalty chance for 3 more points here for the Sharks, if they decide to take it, which I believe they should. This one is an easier kick for Hendrickse than the last. Why did the coffee file a police report? Because it got mugged. Okay. First dad joke of the day, I think that is, for us on the stream. But Honeycomb, the 2-man tackle between him and Marcel Kutsia, and yeah, there was no massive release there from Honeycomb. He's disappointed about it. Come on the Sharks. And the team that scores the next try will win the game. Nice game. Says Jean there. The pressure's starting to mount a little bit here for Jordan Hendrickse. Another chance, 40 metres out, normally kicks him in his sleep, and he's missed again. 2 in a row. The pressure is starting to mount. This is where someone like Sia Masuku off the bench might have a winning moment, but so far the Bulls have given away 2 penalties. In fact, Cameron Honeycomb has given away 2 penalties, and neither have led to points. Like I've said, throughout the season, he's been kicking at 88%, and he's missed 2, so only kicking at 50 at the moment. Manuel Tichuca running it forward, little bit of obstruction, which brings the scrum for the Bulls. The Bulls and the Sharks are not only north-south game, but all inland games. And South Africa go on holiday in Natal. Once in their lifetime, we love KwaZulu-Natal as a place. Sharks are a different story. Says Nicholas, and Blazer said, ha ha ha. And the Bulls one try to win it, says Paul. Both of these sides giving each other chances. Like, the Bulls theoretically could have been down by 6 at the moment, but we haven't seen that killer instinct coming through from the Shark side, as they have had too many errors off that kicking tee, which you don't normally say. Like I said, like Jordan, normally very good. Why do the Sharks bring a ladder? To make their game a little higher. To take their game a little higher. They still get hooked and keep possession, Bulls. Now another scrum feed, this time penalty to the Sharks. That is a massive one. And this is another chance at 3 if they want it. How many minutes left? Currently only 11 minutes remaining in this matchup. Oxnich getting the better of the front row there. Right, once again, they're calling for the shot. Jaden Hendricks is either going to be 0 from 3 in the last 5 minutes, or he's going to finally get one. He's going back from the toilet, says Bondrix. Well, hopefully it went well for you. Come on, the Sharks, says Wendy. Right. This one 45 metres out. He has missed his last 2. Once again has the distance. And this time it does go over, giving the Sharks the lead. 20 points to 17. What you doing Christmas Day? We're having lunch here, and then that's about it. So quite cruisy. In that regard, I got a feeling the last 2 weeks the players are fed up. Says Daniel. The Bulls don't know what's happening. The off-the-boil captain needs to start talking and play territory game, or they will lose, says Ronnie. I said the Sharks by 1, but I'll take it by 3, says Robert. And yes, go the Sharks, says Tessa. Kicking it out there, Jordan Hendrickse. They could have a 9-point lead at the moment, we've got to remember. Little moments in this game could make the difference. But the Bulls have got themselves an attacking chance now. How many minutes? Still another 10 minutes remaining now. Just ticked over to the 70-minute mark. Now Johan Rovela Ready to throw this ball in for the Bulls. Nicely taken at the front. Now looking to get this rolling ball really almost jogging forward. They've got themselves another advantage here, the Bulls. And they do now have the penalty. Now comes the decision. Do you go for the 3 or do you go for the win? Go towards that corner. Jan Hussen, he's been kicking pretty well today. But it looks like they are going to take on the corner. They want this win. Let's be memory buddies. Says cool story, bro. Check the screen for the score. Says Jane. A last minute try from the Bulls loading, says Paul. And if the Bulls don't wake up and play Bull rugby, give me the creeps, says Nicholas. And the Sharks, says John. Jake White got the pink hat on. Watching for this game. My nails are gone. I'm chewing the dog's nails, says Sakabula. Wait a minute. They might actually be going... Are they going 3 here? Yeah, they are, sorry. Taking on the kicking tee. The ball do the work. Come on, the Bulls. Says Lodo there. So opting for the 3 points rather than going for the 7. Is it the right decision, though? The Sharks must bite these cows. It's going to take up an extra 2 minutes or so of the shot clock, or of the clock in general. We're going to be up to 72. Johan Goosen has missed. Right. That's a big moment because they could have gone for the corner. Their rolling ball's been looking pretty good. That's actually what they got the penalty advantage for. But instead trying to get it back to a level playing field, and that kick now means that they're still down by 3. How about the F? Says Lucanio there. Andrea will make his way onto the field. That is for Oxnisher. I'm going to see it there. It just goes straight across the face of the post. Disappointed face palm. But now, ball's been lost forward. No, they've said it's off the boot. It's going to be play on. Apalele Fasi kicking it down the field. Finding a bit of space. Now, Vili LaRue, it looks like he's going to go with the up and under, getting Sergio Peterson to chase after this one. Normally pretty quick with lining them up. Apalele Fasi knocking it on again for about the 3rd or 4th time throughout this game. 50-22 chance. But it is not successful. They'll go right back for the scrum. Sharks must bite their way to a win. Is there any other games after this? Not that we are covering. I think for the URC there is still another game just around the corner. We'll have a quick look. But, yeah, nothing too substantial. Well, definitely not with the South African sides. Is East Hazen still on the field? Haven't heard his name much. I think he is. We just, really haven't seen him throughout this match. And Dunky Hussen, says Jean. And we have the humid sea salt smell in the air, wind picking up, thunder in the distance. It's like our cricket game today. We had thunder and lightning, but it just didn't really rain where we were up until near the end. But other than that, sunny day. Quite nice. Right, so in terms of the upcoming games, once it loads, which hopefully it will. Yep, there it is. So Scarlets and Ospreys are playing at the moment. Same with Leinster and Connacht. So I think they're all the games overlapping. And then tomorrow I think we get to see Edinburgh, Glasgow, if I'm correct. The Sharks are doing very good today. Yeah, tomorrow Glasgow versus Edinburgh. And then that's about it, really. What's wrong with Fussy? Yeah, he just hasn't looked that good under the high ball. Him and Vili LaRue, like I said earlier on, they both have pretty average games. From the 15, they've got the penalty advantage again here for the Bulls, so they can throw everything at this. Kane and Moody, one of his first carries, sits down Jaden Hendrickson and then knocks the ball on. They will go back for the original penalty. Sale versus Exeter just started as well. Says, I am nutty. And Bordeaux says, I am nutty there too. The ball's not focused. Yeah, honestly, like both of these sides still have the potential of losing this game. And it sounds harsh, but there's been that many handling errors. And so far, the penalty count against the Sharks is absolutely huge at the moment. So, yeah, it could go either way. The Bulls are going to talk. Nas Botha out of retirement. Says Kevin there. Looks like Cameron Honeycomb once again is going to stay down. Injury to that knee or maybe a bit of cramp at the moment. Are you doing another game after this, Hamish? We are not. No, this is our last game up until next weekend where we got the Stormers versus Sharks. Hamish, stop all commentary if the Bulls are doing bad. Please, we are sour losers. Sharks want to lose this game. Says Johan. See, some people would say the same about this Bulls side. They are taking on the 3-point again here. 53 metres out for Husson. Is he going to fall into that same trap that Jordan Hendrickson did and miss a few important kicks in a row? He hasn't really stepped up throughout this game, Johan Husson, so does need this one. Giving the ball away quite a bit. Kicked the ball dead as well. Live game says Allison. Sadly, due to YouTube's restrictions, we are unable to show any footage. Crowd are booing, trying to put him off. Has it? Oh, it's hit the post and come back out. So 2 misses in a row here for the Bulls. They are literally doing exactly... Oh, another penalty, right. Is it going to be now the 3rd that does go over? Or do they just go for the corner? Oh, Pepsi put the lazy, having a bit of a chat there with Jan Hendrik Vessels. He was going to be walking towards him there. I don't know what's happened. But Pepsi put the lazy is fired up. Seems like that is the plan. An awesome commentary, Hamish. Thank you, says Tessa. Thank you very much. Right, Pepsi put the lazy is just pretty much said in the rest phase, tell him not to effing push me again. So he's not happy. Right, the penalty. Does Husson... I think they have to almost kick for the corner here, don't they? Yep, they are. They've made too many mistakes going for the 3, and 3 from here doesn't actually get them that much. Last minute try for the Bulls, says Paul. Yeah, they're going to go for it. 5 metres out from the line. This line out is so important, and this will change the game if they don't get this right. Come on, Hamish, give us just the last minute. It's worth a 3-month suspension, says Brule. In there too. Now, Johan Rovela throws the ball into the front. Nicely claimed by Ruan Vermark. It's gone down. Another advantage here. Bulls for the draw, says Liliavano. I don't think they're looking at a draw anymore. They're looking at a win here. They're trying everything they can. They'll go back for another penalty in favour of the Bulls. And here comes the rain, says Zane. The Bulls useless, says Rugby Hub. Oh, couple changes just about to be made for the Bulls. Well, the pressure, says Jean. Yeah, certainly a great way to end the year in terms of a close matchup. Although the Sharks still have to do it again next week. They are going head-to-head up against the Stormers. So still plenty more action to come, not just for this game, but also for next week as well. The draw, says William Moses. Yeah, I don't think the Bulls want the draw anymore. They've decided we need to get the win here. We've given them too many chances, and we've also missed too many of our own chances. Number 7's going off for an HIA. That is Visa. Did score early try in this match. And then Manjeze is coming on the field. That is for Cameron Honeycomb. Come on, the Bulls. Thank you so much for your fab commentary. Have a super Xmas with your family. Cheers, Ruth. Same to you. And Sharks 22, Bulls... Sharks 20, Bulls 22. Official prediction, says Paul. Decent game. The scrum, says Nicholas. Now line out chance. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising that they didn't go with the scrum, although I guess last scrum they did lose, didn't they? So... not wanting to take the risk. Nicely taken now. Rolling maul. Vermaak fires it out the back to Johan Hrubela. Trying to get the turnover was Jordan Hendrickson. Oh, Stedman Hans has knocked it on, but they're going back for another penalty. No, sorry, wait. Another penalty. I think this is going to be a yellow card for one of the Sharks players. Just do what Bull says, Daniel. In 6 minutes, the Sharks have given away 4 penalties. Why don't they just sit down for the rest of the game? They'll do less damage. And thanks once again, Hamish. You were brilliant. See, it's given. Thank you very much, mate. Right, that's not even a yellow card, though. That's just going to be another penalty for the Bulls. So the Sharks, with their penalty count, they've been very lucky not to go to the bin here. But now 2 minutes left. The final warning. So it was early engagement. F the Sharks, says Lucian. Have a great Xmas and New Year, Hamish. Thank you for all your work. Really put in the hours. Respect. Bud, says Sakabula. Now rolling more. Oh, that's well defended. It's gone backwards. Knock on, in fact, they've called. And the Sharks now, yeah, they're not happy. They're the Bulls. I thought that one went backwards, if we're being honest, but they will claim it. Now 90 seconds remaining with a scrum in hand. Is that going to be the game? Jake White does not look happy. He's gone and said that they're concentrated on the URC, but they are going to have to find much better performances than they've had over the last few weeks. Yes, please, says Robert. Right, 1 minute left. John Plumtree looking to just close out this game. The thing is, though, I think they have to kick this one downfield into touch, and then there'll still be one more chance for the Bulls before the end of this game. Come on, the Bulls, says Nicholas. And Yo says Blazecraft, welcome in, mate. Now Jordan Hendrickson. He'll be waiting in the pocket, but Jaden has to feed the scrum. And it's gone down. Oh, no penalty, though. Where's the position on the field? They're only 10 metres out from their line at the moment. So they will look for touch. We've got a scrum reset. The field is actually, they're going a little bit more inland now for the next scrum. Still 35 seconds left. I don't think there's going to be enough time left on the clock. Well, I think there's too much time, that they won't be able to just go with a phase and then kick the ball out. Unless they really strategically work it. Well, this game need a joint, says Jean. And thanks so much for your commentary throughout 2024. Enjoy your Christmas and looking forward to 2025 and following. Says Jane there. Now, scrum. 30 seconds left. Oh. Time is off again. The Bulls are starting to say they're wasting time on purpose. Bulls make me extremely frustrated lately. A Merry Christmas, Amos. Blessings on you and yours. See you next weekend, says Robert. Jake White not nearly as good as he was. Time to retire and 10K on the Bulls. Says Lucian. Well, that 10K might be going down the gurgler in a very short moment. 25 seconds left and they have not got themselves the feed. Let's go Sharks chant. It's going around the ground. How many seconds? Right, we've got 23 now. This is going to be the third reset of this scrum. The Sharks put the ball in. Hendrickson passes it off to Esterhazen. They are going to look to go 2 more phases or maybe even just one. And then they will kick this ball into touch for a massive victory in Durban. He's been told to use it. The last thing you want is to give away that ball, looking at the clock, waiting for the siren. It sounds, and he kicks it out. Jaden Hendrickson, the Bulls, their own worst enemy in the closing moments of the game. But the Sharks, they will have a massive win in Durban, now heading to take on the Stormers next week. Trying to close out their season, or their year, with 2 in a row. Merry Christmas, says Sabong Umisa, or Musa, I should say. Merry Christmas to you too. But the Sharks getting themselves the win by 3 in the end. Merry Christmas to everyone, says Wendy. So yeah, the next stream that we will have on the channel will be taking place on around the 28th, I believe it is, in South Africa. So it will be after Christmas. So of course, everyone be sure to have not just a Merry Christmas, but also a safe Christmas too. We are going to be here next week for that next one. But the Bulls just not clinical enough. The Sharks at times, I mean, their discipline was letting them down. Their handling was honestly shocking, but they did enough and they got the job done, and that's the main thing. 4 points on the board for the Sharks. They will climb themselves a little bit higher up in the rankings, I believe. We'll just have a very quick look. Here, we'll go here, and we'll go here. The Sharks, with that win, will now move up to 4th place on the table, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps a home quarter-final now on the verge of happening for this Sharks side. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Even though we're going to be back before the New Year, so we'll wish you a New Year next live stream. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.